Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Mario Panuco, and on today's episode of Telling the Truth or Twisting It, we'll be covering military culture and its impact on the stigma around PTSD and masculine culture. Before we get into this episode, I do want to give a huge shout out to my father, Mario Panuco, for letting me interview him and get his personal story on his time in service. I took a personal interest in today's topic because I grew up with a father not always being present at home due to him being overseas. The times he did come home, he always seemed fine and normal, but not until recently we had a conversation where he talked to me about he was receiving help for his PTSD. This made me question, why didn't he seek help after his time in service? What was stopping him from seeking help? So as I begin this podcast, those are the two main questions I'll be covering today. When I was reading personal stories from veterans about their PTSD, many of them had the mindset that receiving help for PTSD was considered weak and unmasculine. This made me wonder, why do many veterans seem to have the same mentality when discussing PTSD? And then it all clicked. These sources seem to hit common ground when discussing their time in the military. For instance, in the article Asking for Help Doesn't Make You Weak, published on the VA News website, Dr. Garcia, who is a veteran, says veterans often express concerns over labels such as crazy and mental health patients, as well as military attitudes such as suck it up, fostering feelings of weakness and failure. And in another article that I analyzed by veteran Cameron McMillan, he explains how the hardest thing he had to do in the military was to ask for help. He goes on to say, and I quote, the Army has gone through great lengths to erase the stigma of mental health. But when I needed help, I was just another bitch who couldn't handle it, a pussy who didn't have what it takes. Now, we all know when joining the military or any branch of service in general, it isn't easy at all. You're going through hard training to build yourself up, and overall, it's just hard on your mind. But why is it that military culture seems to have every veteran in a chokehold? And that is because in the military, you are trained to be tougher and not show your weak side. So when soldiers complete their service, that mentality sticks with them through their entire life. They think asking for help is considered weak, since in the military, the only person you have is yourself. Now that I got some extra details and background information on military culture, let's move into my interview segment of the podcast. I had the opportunity to sit over Zoom with my father, Mario Panuco. He's a U.S. Army veteran, and he's going to be talking about his life in the military and his take on military culture. Here's our conversation. Hello, everyone. My name is Mario Panuco. I'll be interviewing Mario Panuco, my father, today about military culture and the stigma around PTSD. Without further ado, Dad, tell me where you grew up and how was your childhood like?
Mm. Hello, my name is Mario Panuco. I was uh, I was born in McAllen, Texas, raised in Mexico for my first 18 years. Mm, I'm I've been now living in Dallas, Texas for the last 28 years. I'm currently working in Kuwait for the past 18 years, and I'm still working for the military. I work as a private contractor for B2X, and do my title is a senior logistics supervisor, and I my duties are logistics basically.
Perfect, perfect. So I just wanted to ask you a few questions about my project that I've been conducting over this past semester. And my first question I wanted to ask you is, when did you start your military service and how long were you in service for?
I was already grown. I was about 26 years old. It was in 2001, January 2001. I don't remember the day, but it was from like I said, January 2001 to January 2008. So it was a total of 8 years that I served.
hmm Okay. And what was the reason for you to join the military?
At first, it was something I always wanted to do. It was always in the back of my mind, but I got married very young with your mom, you know. We had Ilse, my oldest daughter. She was 19. She was going through college. She was a she was a freshman in college, and I had multiple jobs. I was trying to support her and the baby, so try to help out as much as I could.
hmm
And I wanted to do something for myself because I knew I didn't have time to go to school to like, I had to work.
Yes.
So after my wife graduated, then I joined the military and she supported me to go there.
During your training in the military, how would you say how did that affect you on your day-to-day life? Did that make you stronger? Did that make you question yourself as a man? Did that just make you just suck everything in, or how would you explain like your first couple weeks and months in service?
Mm, when I first went in, I was already grown, so I already was respectful. I was very mature.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but they actually they also taught me a lot about uh that just to be in the service, I don't have to be like fearless. I have to, like
Mm-hmm.
GI Joe stuff or not like that. I needed to have integrity, selfless service, show responsibility, and be accountable for all my decisions that I made. Um, and just generally just be willing to stand up for others in any hard situation. It's-
How did the military culture like shape your understanding on how to be a man in general? Like, did that make you like change your perspective? Because like you grew up in a Hispanic household and like in the older generation, so I'd expect like hearing stories from like my peers in general, like people who grew up in an older generation, like in a Hispanic household, they tend to be more like stricter on men in general, on how like culture should be about and how men shouldn't do this, men shouldn't do that. Do you think the military like played a role in that part?
yeah, in a way, it did. Um, they were always push for you to be tough, to be ready, uh, to in a way fearless. Like I said before, you don't need to be fearless, but at the same time they teach you to not to be fearless.
Mhm.
Um, but there's also other sides when you go into training and stuff like that. I had three drill instructors. I had the physical fitness instructor, I had the marching instructor, and then I had the more down to earth,
Mhm.
the drill instructor that would teach you how to show empathy, how to be respectful, how to be a good man. Like the other ones will beat you up, but this one will like build you up,
Yeah.
like teach you different ways. And I left with that. Like for me to go home and be with you guys, it's I rather show my kindness
Mhm.
than to be out with angry and stuff like that. I don't.
Yeah.
So
Like you just said right now that you had two instructors that were like hard on you. How was that like? Like, did that like make you see things certain like you can't show emotions, you know what I mean? Or like, what do you mean by like they were hard on you?
hard on us being just like making you stronger, like in a way, like mental games. There's a lot of mental games in the military. They make you believe you're like this little, like you're worth. Well, now back in the day when I
Yeah.
was in, nowadays it's kind of different because all these stuff going on. But back in the day, they used to make you feel this big,
Mm-hmm.
like you're not worthless. You're worthless. You can do nothing right.
Yeah.
Basically punish you, which means by uh by workouts, by
They were just
with
disciplining
stressing
you in
your.
general.
Yeah, it's just stressful through your whole body.
Mm-hmm. Were there certain expectations on like toughness or like emotional control? Like you weren't like if let's say like one of your like instructors saw you crying, do you think they'd say things to you like just out of like spite or like, you know?
Yeah, back then you couldn't cry. Back then you couldn't. Like, yeah, of course, I never cried because I knew what I was expecting. I was already older than most of the guys that were in my platoon.
Mm-hmm.
But they tried, and all you do is just block them out. I mean, all I did was block them out and just do as I was told. And whenever I got in trouble for any reason, because they find any reason to get you in trouble,
Mm-hmm.
I think I was being pretty
Yeah.
strong-minded.
Mm-hmm.
Where that will just I just let it pass.
Yeah.
So
Do you think because like, other people are different and other people think differently, do you think for other people like that meant something else to them, like they weren't able to take that criticism? Or do you think that they just like they're like you, they just let it slide? Do you think people take it differently? Or what do you think?
yes, yes, I saw people that will break. I saw people that went into depression. I saw people that couldn't even dress up to go to the next exercise. Most of them were like younger people.
Mhm.
And yeah, I saw people put in suicide watch. I saw people went AWOL, which they left without permission. And but yeah, a lot of people took it differently.
Um, was there like any emotional groups there, like for y'all soldiers? Like, was there any like people there to help you with your mental health, your PTSD, just training in general? Like, was there people there that you could like go and seek help for, or is that just something you had to do after your service?
No, there's people you go to, but like I
Was
told
it
you, like
like,
my
was it
mentality.
mainly, was it used a lot, or is it just like, what would you?
No, no,
Mm,
because I never used it before, and because to me, like being in that training and that I was a sergeant. I got out as a sergeant, and being in a leadership position, it was mostly of like, oh, that's weak. That's for weak people. If you're not mentally strong,
yeah.
yeah, you don't need that. To me, at the beginning, like in 2003 to 2004, I was in Iraq. I'm a veteran of Operation Enduring Freedom, and 2003, 2004, and I remember before we left Iraq, we hand over the Italians a checkpoint. There's a police station, and within maybe a week, the same police station that we used to guard
Mhm.
got blown up, and there were a lot of Italian casualties because they weren't they weren't they weren't being serious, I guess, with their job. And when I left Iraq, we came down to Kuwait, and we had to go to like a mental evaluation, but it was a joke. Because all I was asked is like, "Are you okay?" All I had to say is yes. Uh, are you feeling any kind of way? No, I'm just ready to go home. And they said, "Okay, you good, go."
Do you think it was just like,
So
like just pushed under the bus, like just, like
pretty
it was,
much,
like
pretty
you just said, like it
pretty
wasn't
much,
taken seriously?
yeah, pretty much. It wasn't. It was more of a hurry up and move. You know, I got other people, but they didn't evaluate you. I feel like they didn't evaluate people.
Do you think that from your time then versus now, do you think things have changed or what?
I, s- I still work with the military
Mhm.
and by hand. You know, I see them every day. They come to my office. They come see my other offices and stuff that I'm in charge of. And it seems like they've changed
Mhm.
because nowadays there has been a lot of changes on that. In a way, I talked to some soldiers, and some soldiers are still in, and they're already putting for their VA benefits. They're already applying for a lot of stuff. Um, I met a lot of soldiers from like younger generations, and they seem like stuff is more available to them now than it was before.
Yeah, I know when we had a conversation a couple months back about going to like a psychiatrist in general for your help, what made you like seek help
It was you guys.
in a good way?
Yeah, yeah, of course, in a good way.
And
I
like you,
just wanna, I just wanted to let everything go because I've gotten used to being alone, you know, and I want to be able to go home and be there for you all, not just like because I always been like work, 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 and but yeah, that's basically it, you guys.
yeah. If you had one like sentence, one word, if you would advocate for veterans now or like just in general soldiers to seek help in PTSD or like mental health awareness, would you push towards that or would you like still have that same mindset?
No, no, I push for it. Now I talk to younger soldiers and stuff like that, and they I let them know, I like, hey, they got the help. You guys need to take advantage of it because the military does take a toll on your body and in your mind. Um,
Yeah.
I was advising to go through the channels, to go through the VA, to go through to record other injuries and whatnot. I never did.
Hmm.
So now I'm seeing that. I mean, it took me this long to see that. Well,
Yeah.
hey, you need help.
Yeah. Going back to
So
that, like what you just said, sorry. Like you said that you never did seek help like during like years back. Why was that? Was that just because of like you said before that it was seen as something weak, or you just yourself just didn't want to do it?
yeah, no, we just saw it as something weak, like like oh,
Yeah.
you're not like it makes you less of a man if you go seek for help and stuff like that. And that's not the case, you know. It, like as I get older, I think more emotionally in touch with my feelings.
Mhm.
Like I don't know, and I see it sometimes. I be like, man, I tell your mom sometimes, okay, like, man, I'm turning weak. You know,
Mhm.
it's like I'm getting weak. I don't know why. I see a puppy commercial and then I'll be like, oh, that's so sad. I want to cry and stuff like
Mhm.
that. It just, it
Yeah.
bothers me, but hey, I think it just
Better to be
changes
in
the
touch with your
mood.
emotions rather than just ignoring them.
And yeah, yeah.
So, my last question I have for you today is looking back, how do you think the military ideals of masculinity influenced your life after service? What do you think military culture has done to your masculinity after your service? Like you said right now, like before, that you thought it was like weak to seek help. Did that have an influence on like how you saw yourself? Or like do you think the military culture in general has like had an effect on your masculinity? Like how you saw yourself as a man?
Yeah. Um, I mean, it did taught me a lot of like discipline,
Mhm.
like strength, um,
But would you say
how
there
to
was
be.
like cons to it? Like was there like overthinking, like you shouldn't be doing
Well,
this or
I think that's the cons is that the discipline, the strength, the loyalty, uh, and also the just just being able to put other people before you, you know.
yeah,
But the the no, that's the pros. I think that's the pros. The
yeah,
cons, uh, is just after Iraq, it changed my mind. It was like I didn't want it to be around people, you know. Like I didn't want to.
we didn't want to socialize.
I don't want to socialize. I don't want to go to the mall because there's too many people. I don't want to in a party. Your mom always tell me, you say you don't like parties, but every time you go to a party, it's like you're the center of attention. Everybody likes talking to you. Everybody enjoys you. But then yeah, I feel that they enjoy talking to me and stuff like that. But then I get overwhelmed, and then I go to my room and I just like go to the dark. And then your mom comes, hey, what are you doing? You need to come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so that's the cons that I took. That it just made me feel more
isolated.
like isolated. Yeah, yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
So
Well, thank you for letting me interview today. Thank you for your service and thank you for being my dad. Love you. So, everybody, this is my father, Mario Panuco, U.S. Army veteran, and thank you. After the Zoom call with my father, he went more into depth on why it's important to seek help after your service. He says, regardless if you think you feel alright, you're really not. I've had some of my buddies who said they were fine have breakdowns years after their service. One ended up unaliving himself. Many people said it was a car accident, but the way it happened, it didn't seem like that. Now, we can't change how the military trains its soldiers, but we can change how they treat their soldiers when wanting to seek help without feeling belittled. With the help of this podcast, I do hope to have informed those who are thinking of enlisting that regardless of what you go through in training, you're not alone, you're not weak, and you are strong. If you're looking for trauma informed care in the Dallas region, centers like Metro Care Services, Lighthouse Recovery Texas, or Carrollton Springs are really strong options. If you or someone you know is struggling with PTSD or trauma, a great national resource to check out is the National Center for PTSD. You can find them online at www.ptsd.va.gov. They got tons of free tools, articles, and even a directory to help you find a trauma informed therapist anywhere in the country. It is a part of the Department of Veteran Affairs, but their information and resources are really helpful for anyone who's dealing with trauma, not just for veterans. Once again, thank you all for tuning in and listening, and make sure to like and subscribe for more. Thank you.